Hello, my name is Amy Tidwell, and I work on the Federal Systems team at the Oregon Department of Education. Our team is pleased to share this training, which is designed to support districts who have been identified for desk or on-site monitoring for the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, or ESEA. This monitoring process includes Titles 1A, 2A, 4A, and 5B, along with equitable services to private schools, supports for students who qualify for McKinney-Vento services, and supports for students navigating the foster care system. This training is designed so that you can watch it in short snippets or only watch the section for which you are responsible. It is our sincere hope that you find this training helpful in getting prepared for monitoring. While accountability to federal requirements is important, the ultimate goal of monitoring is to support districts and the ODE's examination and refinement of federal program systems. Our purpose for monitoring has three parts. Most importantly, we want to build relationships. The main objective for the Oregon Department of Education is to raise student achievement for all of Oregon's school-age children. The ultimate purpose of ESEA is to ensure that all students, and especially those navigating barriers to academic success, get the support they need. Through monitoring, we at the ODE learn how to better support districts in implementing systems to support students. We also want to provide technical assistance. State monitoring team members provide technical assistance during the review and beyond. Our goals are to answer questions, facilitate dialogue, and exchange ideas and information for program improvement, while at the same time meeting all federal requirements. And lastly, we are required to ensure compliance. Monitoring federal programs helps ensure that all children have a fair, equal, and significant opportunity to obtain a high-quality education. Monitoring is intended to be a collaborative partnership between ODE and districts to ensure compliance with ESEA. The process of selecting districts for monitoring begins with a risk assessment. The U.S. Department of Education requires that LEAs be monitored based on a risk assessment that examines student achievement data, time since the last monitoring cycle, fiscal information, and a variety of other factors. At the close of each school year, the Federal Systems team at ODE reviews and analyzes data for all school districts in the following categories. Student achievement. There are two elements to this indicator: the percentage of schools identified for comprehensive supports and interventions or targeted supports and interventions, and the percentage of those schools that are Title 1A funded. Last monitoring cycle. The length of time since the district was last monitored impacts the likelihood of being selected. Unresolved findings. Districts who are still working on resolving areas of noncompliance in previous monitoring cycles may be identified for monitoring. District-specific metrics. The final category consists of data from 5 indicators, which are the total allocation of federal funds, the percentage of federal funds carried over, the timely submission of budget narrative applications, the percentage of the Title 1A allocation set aside for district activities, as well as individual district needs or requests. The ODE is in the process of examining its monitoring processes across the agency. For the 2024-2025 cycle, districts being monitored for formula grant programs, equitable services, foster care, and McKinney-Vento have been identified as Tier 1, Tier 2, or Tier 3 districts. The submissions and meetings change based on the tier. 58 districts have been selected for monitoring during the 2024-25 school year. Of those districts, 9 have been identified as Tier 2 or Tier 3. In addition to the self-assessment, which is required for all districts being monitored across all three tiers, districts in tiers 2 and 3 will engage in the desk monitoring process, which has 4 basic phases. These phases are identifying districts to be monitored through the risk assessment, setting districts up for success by providing district support in preparing for monitoring, examining evidence, which consists of our review of monitoring materials, and finalizing compliance, which is the reporting and follow-up phase. This timeline shows the process from beginning to end for all 3 monitoring tiers. The key dates to remember are December 2nd, which is when the self-assessment is due, and February 5th, which is the deadline for materials for desk monitoring to be submitted. With the exception of on-site visits, all collaboration will be virtual. One district contact should schedule the meeting through the monitoring bookings page and then forward the invite to the rest of the district team. Staff who are responsible for the implementation of each of the monitored programs should plan to attend the virtual meetings, which will take place on Zoom and last approximately 1 hour. The next section will cover how to submit materials electronically for desk monitoring. A secure cloud-based system, which is called OneDrive, is used for submitting materials. The district provides the names and email addresses of anyone at the district level that needs permissions to upload materials. Only district staff and ODE staff will be able to access the folder. All materials should be saved in the appropriate folder within OneDrive. In order to provide ODE staff ample time to prepare, districts are asked to complete submission of materials 2 weeks prior to the desk monitoring date. We've created a guide to submitting materials, linked from this slide. These tools will help you navigate the monitoring process. We welcome you to reach out if you have questions along the way. All districts who have been selected for ESEA monitoring during the upcoming year will need to complete a self-assessment. The purpose of the self-assessment is to help districts examine their practices around federal programs. It will also facilitate a shared understanding of the district's current practices relative to ESEA requirements. Finally, it will identify both strengths and areas where technical assistance or support may be needed. The district will not receive punitive action for any of their responses. The goal of the self-assessment is to help the ODE learn more about how to support and elevate district practices. The self-assessment will be completed through Smartsheet. This is a platform familiar to most districts. It will also better allow the ODE to track data, analyze responses, and provide personalized feedback. Most importantly, Smartsheet has the ability to customize the self-assessment to reflect only those programs for which districts receive funds. Therefore, the Smartsheet self-assessment will include only the sections relevant to each district. To assist you, we have created a Word template of the self-assessment to use in discussions with your full team. We recommend that you fill out the Word template and then cut and paste your responses into the Smartsheet when you are ready to submit. There are 3 types of prompts on the self-assessment. In the rubric style prompt, the district will self-evaluate a statement of practice by rating themselves as 1, emerging, indicating the district needs to develop or revise policies and practices in this area. 2, developing, indicating the district has policies and practices aligned to some elements, but still needs support. 3, proficient, indicating the district has policies and practices aligned to all elements. Or 4, exceptional, indicating the district is so well aligned with the law that they could serve as a model. The second type of response is the narrative response. Here, districts briefly respond in writing to a question. Finally, there are some yes/no checkboxes. These prompts are a statement where the district indicates their participation with a yes or a no. These types of questions are only in the Equitable Services, Foster Care, and McKinney-Vento sections. After selecting a response, districts may be asked to contact the state program liaison to schedule a meeting. Let's now take a look at what you'll see when you access the Smartsheet. First, you will want to select your district from the drop-down menu at the top. This will generate a list of programs for which you will answer prompts. The boxes must remain checked for a district to submit. So even if you don't think you should answer the questions for a specific program, please leave the box checked and answer the questions anyway. You will also see there is a place for contact information. This is the person the ODE will contact if needed with any questions or clarifications. You will see that as you scroll down the Smartsheet, each program area is labeled. The red asterisk means that that's a response that's required for submission. You may choose to send me a copy of my responses by checking this box. You'll need to enter your email address here. And finally, click Submit. This concludes the introductory section of our training. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out.